the Darkness Archetype. A collection of cards wielded by the final terrifying villain of the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX series, the Darkness, who is named so as he is the very literal embodiment of darkness itself. I mean, really, bro? Naming your deck after yourself? Are you crazy? Skeletons, am I right? What's the Darkness's goal? Well, it's to fold the entire world into his own, utterly annihilating all individuality in the process. Sadly, this final season of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX was never aired internationally and it never received a dub, so a lot of people don't know who the Darkness is or the Darkness cards. But what if I told you the Darkness was present from the very beginning? But you see, he was the one responsible for the abandoned dorm incident, causing Atticus Rhodes and Yusuke's disappearance. He was later the one who whispered in the ears of Atticus to make him embrace darkness, transforming his Red Eyes Black Dragon into Red Eyes Darkness Dragon. As well, in the final season, when Yusuke returned, he dueled through him. And that's not all. He also dueled through Titan during the Sacred Beast fiasco, attempting to add the Sacred Beasts to his arsenal secretly. And as well, towards the end of the series, his Herald Truman gained darkness-imbued monsters, known as the Dark Archetype. When the Darkness finally revealed himself in his climactic duel against Jaden, we see what kind of deck he wields. These cards were, of course, the Darkness Archetype. But what are they? And what can they do? Well, they revolve around their field spell, aptly named Darkness, as well as a series of high-risk luck-based trap cards that, thanks to the help of the deck's Darkness monsters, might not be as luck-based as they first appear. So the Darkness field spell is the engine of the deck. When it is activated, it immediately destroys all of the spells and traps on your side of the field to make room for 5 specific trap cards to be set randomly onto your field from your deck. The set traps are 0, Infinity, Darkness 1, Darkness 2, and Darkness 3. This seems pretty powerful, so what's the catch here? Well, the catch is you can't look at your face downs. And what's not helping the situation is the fact during every end phase, all your traps, if activated, are reset face down and randomly rearrange themselves. Because of this, the wielder has no way of knowing what cards are where. This is troublesome, as the only way to use these face downs is by correctly flipping up 0 and Infinity first. If you successfully activate one, followed by the other, either way around, then every single trap card in between them is activated immediately. Depending on which one you activate first will determine what effect you want to use. Then every trap that activates after that first one will amplify that first effect by either doubling its ability or tripling it. For example, Darkness 1, if this is activated first, it lets you destroy a card on the field. Following this, if another Darkness trap activates, you destroy a second card, and then if a third Darkness trap is activated, you destroy a third. Alternatively, if Darkness 2 is activated first, this gives a monster on the field a 1000 attack point boost. And then for every trap that activates after it, it will double or triple the effect. Finally, if Darkness 3 is activated first, it deals 1000 burn damage. Then if a second and third Darkness trap is activated after it, you will either double or triple the damage. Now, you've probably realized at this point that this strategy is extremely flawed. Wait, so every end phase, my cards get shuffled and I can't check them face down. I have to correctly guess where 0 is, then correctly guess where Infinity is, and then I've just got to hope that these cards aren't like next to each other because there'd be nothing in between, and I have decent things in between, add it to the cards that I want to be in between, and then of the cards that activate in between, I have to activate the right one first to get the right effect that I want. It just seems so luck-based. That's true. However, when you factor in the monster card effects, well, we get to cheat a little. Most of these Fiend, Plant, and Aqua monsters have a key ability that lets you look at your set spells and trap cards, completely ignoring the restrictions of the field spell. For example, Darkness Eye. While stat-wise it's pretty weak, to make up for it, its effect lets you peek at your set cards once during each player's turns, ignoring the Darkness field spell's restriction. This allows you to find the order of your traps, guaranteeing you can activate 0 and infinity. The only thing that is luck based now is just hoping that Darkness 1, 2, and 3 are in between them. Darkness Eye also has another ability. If this monster manages to survive through your opponent's turn, during your standby phase, you can summon a monster without needing to tribute during your standby phase, allowing you to summon a high level monster like Darkness Destroyer. This powerful monster cannot be special summoned. It has the ability to attack twice and deals piercing battle damage to defensive monsters it attacks. And guess what? Darkness Destroyer is only one of 2 cards in this entire archetype that has been made in the real world. And guess what? It's retained its anime effect 100%. That's pretty cool. We don't get to see that too often. Normally things always get changed a little bit, but that's pretty cool. We'll look out for the other real life version, see if that kept its anime effect. We'll see. Now, the Darkness Deck's monsters has an evolution line that leads to its ultimate boss monster. It starts humble with the card Darkness Seed. Its effect is if it's sent to the grave, it begins to grow, triggering its effect to summon itself 2 turns later. When it hits the field, thanks to its effect, it becomes incapable of being destroyed by a battle. And even crazier, it heals its owner's life points back to 4,000 should they ever drop below during the end phases. This monster has an upgraded form called Darkness Bramble. It has the effects of both Darkness Eye and Darkness Seed, being able to peek at your face downs once during each player's turns, as well being unable to be destroyed by battle and able to restore your own life points should they drop below 4,000. Their final form is the true powerhouse of the deck. However, to get it out, you need to use the monster Darkness Raincrow. This monster has the effect, when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can send Darkness Bramble on your side of the field to the grave, along with this card in your hand, to special summon Darkness Neosphere from your deck. Darkness Neosphere's effect is an accumulation of all the effects of all the monsters that have been used so far, albeit now with insane battle stats. While this card cannot be normal summoned or set, it can peek at your set cards once during each player's turn. If your life points are less than 4,000 during the end phase, it will restore them back to 4,000. You can, once per turn, flip a face-up spell or trap face down on the field. What is this effect for? I would say it's for if you whiff with 0 infinity, you activate like Darkness 1 first. You're like, ooh, I didn't mean to do that. I'll set that back down with my Darkness Neosphere's ability. I'll guess this one this time. That's the right one. Which is silly because this card can check all your face down, so you shouldn't be whiffing anyway. But I guess if you just happen to forget, you're like, oh no, wait, it was there, wasn't it? Whoops, shut that down, activate another one. And I guess if your opponent activated like a floodgate or something to stop you from using spells or traps, you could probably just put it face down or something. However, it has one more ability. Its true ultimate power. Once per turn, you can rearrange all spells and traps in the spell and trap card zones. Yes, you heard that right. This monster can make it so you always have 0 on the end, infinity on the end, and all 3 of your darkness cards in the middle. So you're guaranteed 3 destructions, 3,000 extra damage, or 3,000 burn damage. You're probably going to be going for the burn damage, but you have those options anyway. And fun fact, Darkness Neosphere, the anime version, got printed in the real world, albeit its effect was changed heavily, but it does reference what the original could do. Let me show you. The real world Darkness Neosphere's effect is it cannot be normal summoned or set. This card cannot be special summoned except by sending a fiend monster you control and a fiend type monster in your hand to the grave when your opponent's monster declares an attack. That's the exact same summoning conditions that Darkness Neosphere had in the anime, albeit less specific, I guess. This card cannot be destroyed by battle. Once per turn, you can return all face-up trap cards you control to the hand. Also, fun fact, did you know this monster is part of the Neos archetype? Not only is Neospace in the background of its artwork, but this monster's name, since it contains the word Neos, means that this card can work with any card that searches or uses Neos. Currently, the only card this works with is ironically Divine Neos, which it could be used as a fusion material for, and ironically, this was the card to defeat it. And fun fact, this card got censored, kind of. They changed its original artwork, whose eye was open, now it's closed. Unclear why? I'm actually not too sure. Was the eye too graphic or something? Let me know if you know the answer. As for the final cards in this archetype, we have Darkness Outsider, which by discarding a card lets you summon any card in your opponent's deck to your side of the field, which is actually insanely broken. After it steals a monster, it then either moves to the opponent's side of the field or shuffles itself into the opponent's deck. The darkness does say, I give control of this card to you, but that could be a reference to it going into the deck, but I'm not too sure because it disappears off the field a turn later, but he took Jaden's Yugioh. Yugioh needed a tribute for the end phase. I only assume that he tributed Darkness Outsider on the opponent's side of the field because it was still tethered to his monster, because otherwise it doesn't make any sense because he didn't pay a cost tribute. That's all. I talk about all that in the Darkness duel analysis, so that doesn't matter for now, but it's the problem when cards aren't shown on screen, when monsters just summoned and you don't see the physical Japanese card to know what the effect states. You just gotta kind of guess these things. However, this is actually a great opportunity to bring up boss duels. Boss duels are these special events that they'd have at stores where you could duel against the big bosses from all the Yu-Gi-Oh series. The Darkness was one of them, and he had two boss monsters, and one of these was Darkness Outsider, and it had the ability to target one monster you control, give control of that target to the opponent, then special summon one monster from an opponent's deck to your side of the field. So this effect potentially is what its anime effect actually was. By the way, I would recommend learning more about boss duels. It's a deck that you only have 8 cards, but it's like so uber powerful. I have a video on it. I would definitely check it out to learn more. But yeah, Darkness has his own deck of this. It's kind of cool. Darkness Slime. If there are only 0 attack monsters in your side of the field, you can special summon this monster into defense. When you do, its stats become any other monster on the fields except reversed. Basically, this monster's attack becomes their defense, and their monster's defense becomes this monster's attack. Did I say that right? I think so. Finally, Darkness Necro Slime. This card contributed itself to summon back a Darkness monster in the grave. Thematically, it's clear that the Darkness archetype reflects its user quite well. While on the surface seemingly having mastered control over everything, true dominance of the space between the beginning and the end, in reality, this control is just an illusion. Without his Darkness monsters to cheat the system, this deck and the Darkness's ability to control his Zero in Infinity is just as vulnerable to the unpredictable and beautiful nature that is the chaos of life. This is evidenced perfectly by how mad the Darkness gets when he whiffs his Zero in Infinity play.
だが、ダークネスライの力がなかろうと、トラップ発動。
残念だが外れのようだな。
Bro was so upset trying to attempt it blind, he just never tried to do it blind again. Want to watch this chaotic deck being dueled by me against Jaden? Well, I have a video for that right here. Or if you'd like to watch the actual anime episode where the deck appeared and I analyze it, well, that video is right here. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed the channel, leave a like if you want, and let me know in the comments, what is your favorite luck-based deck? Thank you very much for watching, guys. Catch you later.